What's up, everybody? Hola, mi amigos and amigas. Me llamo is uh, what's Spanish for crypto? Crypto, maybe.
Crypto.
Crypto dale. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Tuning in, Crypto Street Podcast. Gloomy, rainy day in Iowa. Just feeding the world. We're combining beans and corn. Having at it.
It's been gloomy
Prince,
all over the place, man.
Yeah,
It's just
it's where
gloomy on crypto Twitter. It is gloomy outside. Prince is gloomy
oh yeah,
because he's awake
I'm
and not on a rink.
no
Pain of existence just
making,
Killer is gloomy because it's not Friday and we're not all in San Diego.
You know what? Also, like, I'm gloomy because it gets dark at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh,
And
dude, it sucks.
I don't even know if this daylight savings or whatever the other one is. I think whatever it is dumb though.
It's probably like
really
global warming or something, right, man? Like I don't know.
Shut up.
Well, you know
Global
that's what all the Democrats now they want to get rid of daylight savings. So just follow daylight savings to own the libs. You know,
That's right.
Just turn that clock forward.
Funny story. Funny story about daylight savings time. My wife's great grandmother did not believe in it. So, you know what? This is funnier than hell. So while like it's 6 o'clock and everyone would be like, "Hey, we're going over to so and so's for supper at 6," she would show up an hour late because she didn't believe in it. So they had to like tell her, "Hey, we're eating at 5 or at 7."
So
and
did
everyone else
her whole life like this? Like
she just didn't give a single fuck.
When you say
Like,
she didn't believe in it, like she didn't think it was an actual thing, or she chose to take a stance against it.
I think she chose to take a stance against it.
But
like,
that's more
she
admirable.
didn't.
daylight savings
I like that.
activist.
Yeah, this I like. I
She-
can get behind this.
She
'Cause I agree.
she was a stay-at-home mom, had like 9 kids, so
No,
she never worked. So it's not like she really had to be places.
She's gonna be the next Rosa Parks, man.
but
With that.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny, but
I love that. So
pretty cool. If you
like,
ask
it
me.
Yeah, I
shows up
mean,
now,
you know,
like
because-
every sporting event.
Because when the world is entirely fucked, corrupt politicians and kids starving in Africa. Out of all the things you chose to be an activist about, it's got to be the time of day,
Cool. I mean, I gotta admire her putting her foot down and standing for what she believed in.
Hey,
Honestly,
someone has
it's
to do it.
What is the age where you really just do not give a shit about anything? Like, I guess
For me, it's when you retire.
I would say it's like I don't know, just around like watching my own parents, I would probably say like 55, 60, and it's really just gone downhill, It's just there's no fucks given what they say in public. You go for dinner and it's like, you can't say that to the waiter, like, that's really rude, but no, it's just whatever, it just rolls right out. And yeah, that's for me experience 55, 60 is when the fucks start just disappearing.
I just can't wait to get to that.
Mama says my grandparents used to own your grandparents. Just say some insane, just asinine shit. I think that age.
Oh,
I
man.
think that age actually is whenever your kids turn 18, because that's when your job is
Yeah,
done.
that could be. That very well could be.
You wipe your hands of it all. Usually.
Sorry to get off track, but not really, because that shit we just talked about is pretty funny. Tonight's guest, he's been on. This is his 3rd appearance. One of my favorites, Startail. We call him Roy. You can find him on Twitter at Startail TV.
Hey
3rd
guys.
appearance, big dog.
Yeah, hopefully.
So what's
not
going
like,
on in?
Hopefully not like those movies. The first one is really good. The second one was okay, and then the third one was just shit. So I'm trying to buck the trend here.
Yeah, so we're like, hey, we should have Roy on again so he can redeem himself for that 2nd episode.
That episode
Not
was
really.
great. I love the second one. I remember listening to it after the fact. I really enjoyed that one. So
Hell yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
also listen to myself, when I can in my off hours. So it's actually one of my hobbies. listening to my dulcet tones.
It's soothing.
Yeah.
I think the people love the fact that you get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to record this with us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's dedication.
Yeah, that will
Hardcore.
never become unimpressive. So thank you again.
Yeah.
I was actually, I mean, the last time you were on, for some perspective for everybody, was May 9th of this year. So we'll say roughly 6 months ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not much has changed in the market price-wise since then, actually. I think the price of Bitcoin on May 9th was about
It was near the
like
bottom,
low
I think, wasn't
9,000,
it? Oh, okay.
roughly. I mean, I
So
haven't
change
really
a little.
Yeah, just a little bit.
True. I take it all back. It's down 50%.
What's a few million between
Hey,
friends?
Yeah.
You know, if we don't say that, someone's calling us out. So I just had to say that.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do your emotions about the market feel a lot different than they did then, or roughly the same? It's probably hard to dial it back, but
Well, you
how
know,
was the last couple
it's funny
months?
you ask me that. So you guys have probably all seen Inception, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so you know the beginning of the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio he like winds up on the beach and he gets taken in by like those two like secret agents or whatever, bodyguards, and he
Yeah.
starts talking to the Asian dude, and the Asian dude is like, "You have become an old man filled with regret after all these years." Like, I feel the same way about this bear market, where I too actually have become an old man filled with regret after these 9 months, and my single regret is not selling in January. So that's me. That's my life now. I'm just haunted by my indecisions.
I think
And,
that we all feel that. We all feel that. That's
yeah.
we were
I
talking.
just live every day in, just self-flagellation and why didn't I do it? Just hindsight. I should have done it, man.
I think the
You know, and like Prince said, everyone that we've had on lately has said this, but it's good, I think, for people that maybe don't feel as experienced of a trader or haven't been in the space that long, that they can see that, people like yourself, Roy, or Messiah, or all those people still say that they wish they would have sold a lot more back in January. So it's good for everyone to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
well,
And that even,
like everyone can be a hindsight genius, but it's tough, right? In the moment, I think the worst part is like, because I think a lot of people kind of would say this, and I remember hearing it a lot, and I'm sure it was said before, even in certain episodes. Is it's like, well, you know what? I've made so much more than my initial investment that even if I lose some, I'm still pretty well off.
Yeah, we just didn't know that sum was 95%.
Then you lose some, and it's like, wow, that was a dumb fucking comment to make. Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, and on the positive side, to me, I just can't help but feel like I felt last year at this time. I don't know why, but I just can feel like something is rumbling, maybe, so to say. And I don't have specifics. I don't have any indicators on the charts, but it's just the feeling I have that,
Just
this thing
Could that be the Taco Bell?
I almost said, what do you have for lunch, Dale?
You guys got to remember where I'm at. We do not have Taco Bells.
Oh, man.
That's
Wait, really?
At least within
have
30
Taco Bell?
miles.
What?
I do, but not in like my hometown. I need to go 30 miles to get it.
I don't even think we have it in my country, so there's that.
Hey, I'm reacting in a way that would make people think you guys are missing out on something really, really good. I don't know why, but it's just like mind-boggling to me that there's not a Taco Bell closer.
Yeah, same
There's
here.
one everywhere.
Sorry.
So, Roy, what have you been up to? What have you been doing in this
What
month?
have I been up to? Well, so I have been, that old man filled with regret, and in that time of self-flagellation and ascetic kind of, let's say, personal enlightenment, I've just been so bored out of my fucking mind that I'm literally playing Cookie Clicker. I have been playing it for I think the last 2 months, and I've almost beat the game, I think.
Jeez.
I've just been playing clicker games. But aside from that, I've been playing a lot of other games. I've been kind of like doing this personal development thing for a long time.
Mhm.
probably ever since maybe like last year, July. So I've been doing a lot more of that. So that entails like a lot of reading, a lot of practicing Italian, of course, because I'm living here in Italy. A lot of personal development, exercising, things like that, learning as much as I can. I'm actually working on a few projects right now,
Nice.
crypto related. One is collectible cards, and not in like the shitty way that everyone else is doing them, in a way that like makes you want to collect them.
We get another crypto All Stars coming up.
Now we're getting something better. I'm biased, of course, because I'm the one doing it. I'm quite bullish on this, like super bullish.
There we go.
So I'm working on that. I'm working with a few other individuals on some other tasty stuff, and other than that, kind of. I think I've decided now. I've made the decision that I probably want to, just fully, completely sell out. Just become a sellout and just make the YouTube channel. I'm probably gonna do a YouTube channel, get the video camera. I am gonna dox, and kind of do like crypto videos because I think I probably have something to say on that subject, and usually helps me out. I mean, when I was writing for my website, it was usually fun for me because I could learn things as I wrote them. So it's always good to learn more stuff. So yeah, I'll probably be doing that around next year, making January or so, doing a YouTube channel. Yeah.
So
Have you been
what made
trading
you decide to dox?
So I think this might so funny you mentioned that. I think we are probably going to go on a few tangents here, which will be very relevant. But I think Twitter and crypto in particular has really bad representatives. I think the people who call themselves influencers and the people who really have push in our community are individuals who are just these cold-hearted, like, completely dead inside, emotional, like they have no morals traders, and it's like that works if you're trading. That doesn't work if you're trying to represent crypto.
Yeah.
So I look at people like, let's say, Ian Bellina, and I'm like, well, I can do his job better. Or like Supo Man. And by the way, I have a lot of respect for both of them because, despite what people may say about like them being like, scammers or whatever, they hustle. They're always putting shit out like every day.
Something, yeah.
So like that alone itself speaks volumes to me. Like it's really difficult to put shit out like daily.
Yeah.
So props to that. But I think I can do a better job, and I think I also can represent crypto better. When we're hearing all these things about crypto conventions and people are like going to speak at them, and it's like all this crazy weird shit is happening, and like, I think what I want to do is, of course I want to get a whole bunch more followers and this and that. That would be great for me. But I also want to represent crypto in a way that is better for the community. And it's better for everyone who's going to be listening, watching, etc. So yeah.
I like that.
And that involves doxing. So I mean, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it because I kind of have to.
Yeah. No, I like
that. You see all the drama on Twitter about I think exactly what you're talking about in terms of representatives for crypto and how they reflect on the industry as a whole. Did you get involved in that at all?
Yeah, I did, and everyone hated me. It's really hard to say anything on Twitter that's like anything left of like.
Yeah, whatever the mob is thinking.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to say anything. Let's say a little bit to the right of Karl Marx without getting like everyone calling you a super Nazi. Yeah. So all I said. So basically, I made a tweet yesterday. So I guess for everyone listening, we should. Someone should go over like the general like what actually happened.
Oh yeah. Well, so there's some tweets made pretty much about Crypto CoinCon and just how it's like.
It was World CryptoCon.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah. And some of the people up there, some of the people out there doing the panels, stuff like that, probably just didn't look like the best representatives for crypto. Like it just, there's some opinions that it just didn't look good. It looked actually just terrible in some ways. And so, to everybody who's kind of listening to this and doesn't know, there was a lot of kind of drama in a sense on Twitter and bunch of people with followers on their accounts and all this getting into it and all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, so when we talk about like, one of the big problems that people are saying was with that, and this event happened in Las Vegas. Which, by the way, guys, what happens in Las Vegas is supposed to stay in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to just
So
go
true.
on Twitter and just, you know, air everyone's dirty laundry. So,
Yeah.
you know, you already broke the first rule of Fight Club. But basically, like, what ended up happening is some individuals are saying that, like, oh, this is the Twitter crowd. You know, you're getting all these Twitter people, and of course, you're going to be like, you know, they're going to not be individuals who you're going to want to talk to. They're going to be unscrupulous, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't want to say that's all Twitter people, because some people have, like, legitimately deserved their spot. Like, Bitcoin Dad was telling me, like, yeah, I showed up with, like, shorts in it, like a t-shirt and like a Rolex. And I'm like, that's ballin'. Like, that's awesome, dude. But like the difference is Bitcoin Dad has earned his spot. You know, like, he deserves, you know, he has earned it. It's not even he deserved it. He legitimately has earned it.
Yeah.
Versus other people who are maybe newer in the space and they're going in and they're actually talking to other people. And it's like,
yeah,
you know, there's definitely a disconnect there. So, like, I feel like, at least from the perspective of, if you're going to be on Twitter and you're going to go to these events, you kind of have a duty to really inform yourself of what the hell you're going to be talking about and what you're going to say, because people watch this shit, you know, like, people, normies especially, like, yeah, they listen to conventions and things like that, even if they're not into crypto necessarily, because that's kind of how they get their intro into this stuff. So, you know, shout out, by the way, to Bitcoin Bella, my favorite person in 2018. She's so funny, and she did go and speak at the World Crypto thing. Yeah, she's one of the newer people, but, you know, I really trust, you know, what she has to say. She's very good.
She's awesome. Yeah.
The only negative thing she has is she's an attorney, but we will not hold that against you, Bella. We do love you. You know, one thing, talking on that and maybe piggybacking a little bit, Roy, on, you know, Bitcoin Dad has definitely earned his right to wear shorts and a t-shirt and a bomb and Rolex. Yeah. You know, my dad always told me, you know, whether you're flipping burgers at McDonald's, you always dress for the job that you want. So, you know, not necessarily saying show up to McDonald's in a suit and tie, but, you know, if, like someone else said it on Twitter, if you're going to these conventions, most of the people that are going are not there to learn. They're there to network. So, you know, there's a lot of people there that have a lot of pull within crypto. And if you are wanting to make a lasting impression on them, you know, maybe you should dress up a little bit and try to make that first impression be great, instead of, you know, I better tread lightly here on what I'm trying to say, because
you never know.
No. That I completely. So I will actually go. I will take the fire for this one. This is a hill I will die on, because I think this whole, like, thing we have of, like, oh yeah, man, it's counterculture. Let's just show up with fucking shorts and, like, pajamas and people will respect us. It's like, no, I'm not going to respect you. You're not going to respect yourself. And it's like, so there's, like, two, like, conflicting pieces of advice. So yeah. So I've heard what you said before, where it's like, you know, you should dress for the job you want. So I actually came to this podcast, and you can't see, but I'm dressed in a full, like, tuxedo. Just, you know. But the other piece of advice I actually learned from Alistair. You guys know Alistair Milne?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to him, and he basically, what he said was, you know, dress your wage. That's essentially dress your pay grade, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, oh wow, that's actually that's really good. And it's like,
yeah.
So there's definitely both of that, to where, like, if you're going to a crypto convention, you know, don't go all out. Don't get the damn bow tie and the pocket square and this and that. Yeah. But dress nice. Dress nice.
Let me just say this: I've always wanted to be a swimsuit model.
What's the same for me growing up?
What I'm dressed in right now,
playing hockey and all that, and, you know, being an athlete, you always gotta, you know, wear your dress clothes to the game and all this. And when you're younger, you're like, you know, I don't want to wear this stuff. Like, come on, this is just uncomfortable. But the classic saying was, you know, look good, feel good, play good.
Yep.
So, you know.
And the thing is, too, like, we all want adoption, right? And if we're talking adoption, we're not talking about getting the people who already know about crypto into crypto. We're talking about average day people. And those people, a lot of them, do have stereotypical notions of what dressing a certain way means. Is that right? Maybe not, you know, but they still have it. It's still a real aspect of how they perceive things. And so people have to be cognizant of that. You know, if we really want this to, and I'm not telling anybody how to dress or how to live your life or anything, but this stuff does matter to average people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know.
If you look at the biggest accounts on Twitter, who is it? It's all people who do the same thing. They dress up nice.
Yeah.
You know, they dox themselves. They have their face on the Twitter, and it's like they all play the same game. You know, they all run the same routine. And not that that's wrong, but that is what people look up to. They look up to these individuals.
Yeah, and it's there's the classic, oh well, don't pass judgment on others for how they dress, or don't judge a book by its cover. But at the end of the day, everybody judges a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Say don't judge a book by its cover, but I don't care. People are going to be judging you no matter what.
I mean, who actually said that? Probably a terrible author.
Really, yeah. It's like it's going to happen no matter what. So depending on how you want to be taken is how you should have kind of approached that all. But I know even just from some of our experiences, say we were in LA a few weeks ago and we were moderating a panel, and it was a pretty legit conference. There was a lot of it was a very professional crowd, and even I think we were really the only crypto Twitter people kind of getting called up. And it was funny for me going on stage and they're announcing our names, and it was just like, wow, like it just felt really odd, because it's like, here we are in this, it was a very professional setting, kind of the most professional setting I've been in my life. And, then we're getting kind of, announced, and it's this crypto Twitter personalities. And it's just like, it just did not belong.
Like everyone give Crypto Dale a round of applause, and then it's like record scratch.
Yeah, right.
You're probably wondering how I got in this situation.
Exactly. You got a place filled with VCs and all this stuff, and then here we are coming up, and it's just like, this is a little weird.
And the thing is, too,
but I mean that it's like people want to learn more about this stuff. That's the thing, right? Like people legitimately want to know more about crypto. They really like the message,
Yeah.
And then it's like. And if the message that we're giving people is like, yeah, these crypto, they're just like goons, dressed in their pajamas and like posting from their fucking basement. It's like that's a terrible message.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's hard though, because like that stuff is a little bit what makes crypto interesting. Is it's like so many out there sort of personalities and stuff, and it keeps the space fresh, and that's important for adoption too. It's just being interesting, just attracting somebody's attention. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It goes both ways, I guess, but.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I mean, I think there's space for both. And I think crypto has perhaps moved a little bit too much into this zone where it's like a lot of the people who are dressed in suits are usually scammers, and the people who aren't, who are trying to be real, are usually maybe being a little bit too real.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a disconnect there. And what I think I want to do is probably find that nice middle, where I think people like Luke Martin probably has found a perfect middle ground of like, here's the professionalism, but I'm also going to be real with you and personal with you, and joke around.
Yeah.
And I know some people were saying that, kind of bitching at people saying, well, we were saying, we don't want suits here. And then, now you're saying, oh, we don't want people wearing Crocs and sweatpants. It's, I mean, I get it. And, I feel like I am, one of a good quality of me is I can really see both sides of the aisle, and I get both arguments. But, if I'm looking to invest in something, throw my money into something, and I see pictures of someone dressed in pajamas and, stuff like that, I'm going to be like, you know what, get the fuck out of here. I can
find someone else who wants to actually dress properly.
Well, and also, Dale, it's like, and we're all pretty young people still, it's like, I mean, that's how we perceive things. Forget about, Mr. 50-year-old farmer in the middle of Idaho or something. Like, I mean, his perceptions of that kind of thing are way more than that even.
Yeah. The kind of thing, like you better have a proper haircut, you better not be wearing a hat, you
stiff
better
handshake, eye contact, like all that stuff, and that still matters to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Let's go in there and give them a firm handshake, son. That's how I got my first
that's what I my first impression of someone, if I shake their hand and they have a weak handshake, I mean,
can't trust them.
Out of here.
It's bad.
You can't trust them.
It's very uncomfortable.
Got a weak handshake, I don't trust.
Oh man, yeah. I recently. So this is a little bit of a problem that I have when I go to crypto conventions, because I don't go to many. I've gone to 2 so far. So the culture right now that we have in crypto is, we're rising against the machine or whatever. We're wearing our shorts and slacks and all this, and then like I show up and I'm dressed up in a suit. So people think instantly, oh, here comes this like Wall Street shill, and he's like full of himself. But then they start talking to me, and then they get really put off. They're like, whoa, that's weird. Like, It's like Revenge of the Body Snatchers or something. Like you're someone you're a crypto person in the body of like a a shill, and it's like, yeah, well, I just like wearing suits because they look nice.
Yeah, dressing up, looking good. You know what? Who the hell's gonna diss that? You want to look good, you want to look professional.
Well,
be my guest. Like, what? To me,
I think this very much ties in with like the whole anti-corporate like mentality in crypto in general.
Yeah,
because it's very much like anti-corporation, anti-organization in general, like anti-Wall Street, anti the banks. All this, like, I mean, we're not really at the stage where that's realistic yet. You can't really just shun all of these established.
We got everybody begging for institutional money, yet everyone wants to shun all.
Give us your money and go away.
At least we all have an excuse now. With the bear market, no one can actually afford a suit. So let's just, it's a choice. Okay, we're choosing to wear shorts. All right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So going back to the market just for a little bit, do you have any strong thoughts on where the price of Bitcoin goes from here, where the markets go? Maybe just a gut feeling, if anything.
Yeah. So I posted a tweet, I think like a month or two ago, when we were kind of hitting that 6K range where we're at now. And I was like, this is, by the way, just so you know, this is the bottom. And we're going to be here for a long, long time. So that's basically the tweet I made. And I think I was forecasting something like 6 months, possibly a year of like ranging in this range where we're at 6K. And that's basically how it's been for a while. And I don't really, because for me, I think if you're a bear, the risk reward isn't really that great. Let's say you short 6.5. It's like, what's your target going to be? Like 4K. That's a good trade. You'll make money, sure, but it's not really worth the risk of it going to like 10K. Yeah, like the risk reward is just not there. And then the other side of it is like, so that's like, for me, the bear case is like, I don't see any reason why it's going to go to be sold any further than where it's at right now. We never really hit that annual support that we touched back in like April or whatever ever again. And I don't think we will. That was like at 5.8K or something like that.
Yeah.
We've been in this range. The people were like really, really scared when we were here at 6K. If you guys remember, everyone was, oh, we're going to go to 5K. We're going to go to 4K. We're going to go to 2K, like all these insane predictions. We never went there.
Yeah.
We never went there at all. Like, despite all this FUD and like, because there has been a lot of FUD. Yeah, nothing. We haven't gone down because there's really no reason to sell for anyone at this point. Now, on the other hand, I don't think there's really much reason for anyone to buy. So if you're a trader, you're not going to buy in because we're still, triangling. Yeah. We're still like, on support. It doesn't make sense. The technicals aren't right. There's nothing really bullish about it. There's bullish fundamental news, but they're not really catalysts quite yet. And then it's like, so I just don't think a lot of people are really interested in going long until we have kind of broken this short trend and printed a higher high or something like that.
No reason to go long, pretty much.
Yeah. So and the other thing is, normies aren't really interested in Bitcoin like at all. After we had this nice retail crypto bubble back in January, which was great and everyone made money, everyone got kind of wrecked, and now there's like no interest because who among like normal people actually buys an asset when it's underpriced? No, they buy it at the all-time high. So they're not going to come back until we break like 20K or so, or like maybe 15K. They're going to start coming back. So all of the money that's being traded, I'm seeing, is just amongst people who are already in crypto. We're getting slight trickles in of new people, but we're not getting a big boom. And so the thing is we're either waiting for institutional money to get in, or we're waiting for retail money to get in. Neither of them are in yet. So until something changes, either fundamentally to the downside or fundamentally to the upside, either new people selling or new people buying, I don't really see any reason for Bitcoin to move up, but I also don't see any reason for it to move down. So I said this is like basically the bottom. This is the time to accumulate, buy as much as you can, take as much time as you want, because we'll be here for a bit, hot minute, and eventually we're gonna make this rounded bottom like we've done before, and then start moving back up. Could be in 2019, could be in 2020. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, next halving. There you go.
I think in general, people are underestimating how long we can be flat. I think just because everyone hates that scenario, so they kind of like minimize the chances of it happening in their head. I mean,
it sucks for leverage traders, trading Bitcoin, futures and all that stuff. But the alt markets that we've seen lately, they've been popping off, and there's plays to be had. So it's
Yeah, definitely.
Just because Bitcoin doesn't really say we don't think that there's a reason to go lower or higher really right now. That's an awesome situation for alts, in my opinion.
For sure.
So far, we've seen that, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, the thing is too, and these random alt pumps, I mean, they're small enough in terms of magnitude and in terms of how many people are involved in them, where they're not huge, but these are making people money, which they will then throw into other things, which will inevitably make people money. And these things have sort of a domino effect. I think a lot of these bull markets are, or at least the Bitcoin bull markets, are triggered by a series of smaller pumps within alts that give people enough capital to then drive the larger assets up. I think it's kind of a weird
cycle. Yeah,
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think that theory holds water.
Yeah, and I don't know. I haven't really thought it through too much, but that's just something I've been thinking about the past couple of days, past couple of weeks. But I mean, like for me, it was Monero. I saw the Monero pump. I got in, made some money on that, which I parlayed into a bunch of other coins.
Here's a question though. Like the pumps that we're having, they're not particularly great.
No.
So like the question you have to ask yourself is this new money? And if it's new money, why is new money entering randomly in like November?
Yeah.
Or is this just people who are getting really sick of this like sideways market and trying to drum up some like pumps?
Yeah, trying to get
something. That's what I think is probably like the more likely case, that it's just people who are trying to make some extra money.
Yeah, well, and when we look at the magnitude, right, kind of like you said, like the magnitude of these moves, it's still in reality, I think, compared to what we're all used to, it's very, very small. But
it's super muted, man. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, people are celebrating like 15% pumps. And I'm just like, Jesus, man, what happened? Have shame.
What is
Control
this, a
yourself.
Pump for ants?
Seriously.
It's ridiculous to like look at it that way sometimes and think, man, like, I'm looking at this 15% and I'm like, 15%, but it's like, just
that's not even worth getting out of bed.
Exactly, right? Like,
yeah.
Crypto spoils us sometimes.
But I think so I think your idea definitely holds some water. I mean, it could also, so I think we need to get to all-time high again to get new retail people in, right? So there definitely needs to be some kind of influx of capital in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be institutional people, that may be like a bunch of people like playing alts and like crushing the market somehow, and then maybe moving that to Bitcoin. It could also be just maybe a slow grind of like new money trickling in. But eventually I think we're going to move, and then we're going to get this kind of pop off moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like a false start the other, like I think a week or two ago, where we saw that crazy candle. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Is it happening?
Is it happening? I almost, those things where it's like break glass.
Yeah.
I have one in my house where it says break glass in case of happening. And I was ready, but it wasn't quite time.
It wasn't time yet. Well, that's the thing. Like we've been in a very tight range for a while. So, I think like there's going to be a nice move coming. It's going to be, obviously you want to be on the right side of it. But yeah, it's like we've been in such a condensed range. There's something brewing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so we've been super flat for like about 2 months, right?
Yeah.
I think I was looking at the chart, and it's been like 2 months that we've been between like low sixes and high sixes, pretty much. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I mean, I think we can stay flat in this range for quite a while longer. I do think it's indicative that something is going to happen, but I mean, when that something happens, I don't know. I think it could be a while. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be, but I just think if you look at the past, I mean, I think in the past bear markets in Bitcoin and crypto in general, things stay flat for like a year or like a year and a half.
Alts can really flatline. They can, some of them die. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Like, I don't know if, I think we're in for a pretty big move soon, but things can only get this condensed for so long before something just gives and we see the big move. So
I'm actually more on the former idea here. I do think I think it's more likely that we will be flatlining for maybe another 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Which was kind of what I said in the one tweet. Yeah. I'm really quite like, with conviction, like this absolutely was the bottom, like around 6K. So like if you're a buyer, like anywhere now is a good time to buy.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of time. You know, it's not like you need to go all in today because again, there's buyers have no reason to buy. But accumulators do. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely could see us, you know, staying down low for another 6 months to a year. Who the hell knows how long, right? But eventually we will start moving up.
Yeah, I think like 6 months is a good anchor point. I'm taking a more detailed look at the chart. If you take up or look at Bitcoin's chart going back to 2014, 13, basically the bursting of that bubble, it bottomed around January, I think, like really bottomed around like January of 15, kind of settled in at like 200. It stayed between 200 and 300 for about 8 months. And I think if you consider we've had 2 of that so far, then yeah, maybe another 6.
Oh yeah.
It's always tough.
Who knows? We're all playing a game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's always tough to judge. Like these cycles, they're so much more accelerated than traditional markets. So how long, you know, a potential flatline, who the hell knows? It could be longer than even 6 months, and it might be much shorter. Who the hell knows, right? But yeah, I think honestly a flatline would be nice because I think that's just going to open up more alt plays. And you know what? Make the money on alts while you can, and then get that into Bitcoin when it starts to go.
Well, as you know, as I mentioned, I'm just like watching movies and reading books and stuff. So I actually kind of don't want Bitcoin to move up because
it's
you guys remember all those memes where they were posting like that really old guy where it's like, yeah, but trading isn't stressful at all. It's like that's what the bull market's like, boys. It's like you're waking up at like 4 a.m. in the morning because like your new ICO dropped or whatever, or like some like coin got listed on Binance and it's just like triple X pumped and it's just like that is insane and it's like every day. For weeks, for months.
I remember thinking at one point, actually, it would have been in December, and just starting to feel a little burnt out, just because you're just always going, and there's always action. It was going on for like a year of that, pretty much, and thinking to myself, I could use just like a weekend, go pamper myself, maybe get a massage, just chill out, relax.
Damn you, Prince.
Yeah. Never did, never did, and then I'm looking back on it, it's like, wow, that was pretty much around the top when my mind started getting like that. So it's like,
fuck. Well, the universe unfolds its plan in mysterious ways.
Yeah, so. No kidding. I'll be aware of that next time when I start feeling like I just need to get out of town for a while.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think honestly, we can look at the whole flat thing too as almost as not a bad thing. I mean, we've all endured 10 months of a bear market at this point. What's another 6? If you can hold on, I think your chances of making a hell of a lot.
You just sound like prisoners of war. We've endured 10 months of this hell. Well, Rorschach's Journal, November 6th.
If you want to hear prisoners of war, you should listen to my old man talk because he's a big time gold investor. So it's like that's all.
Oh my god!
Right? Yeah, you want to talk about prisoners of war?
that's slow motion train wreck. That's slow motion justice.
He's been in this war for freaking years.
It's been like a 30-year bear market.
He's talking. It's just
he's an animal.
It's the classic. It's like, hey, how you doing? He's just like, oh, another fucking day of paradise.
Just be like, hey, come on, old man. Why don't you just give it up? I'll never give up the fight.
Right? You get so committed, and at this point, it's just like kicking him in the ass for so long that he's not giving up now. It's like, no, he's gonna stick this through, and he's gonna
sunk costs.
I have this busting out the MREs.
Yeah, I have this nightmare of all of us just 20 years from now clutching our ledgers and being like, it'll be worth a shitload someday. Like we've completely lost our minds and we're just clinging to anything. I don't know. I don't think it'll happen, but I think it's
there goes old man Startail talking about 100K again.
That magical money.
And even Nomad says here, we don't even know a real bear market. I got to agree with that. This has been shitty, but exactly. Like a real bear market, I would, those make people just want to leave.
If it ended today, we'd be pretty lucky.
There's still a lot of people.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I mean, great.
Also, you look at things like stocks. I mean, stocks had a decade where they were flat, essentially. So it certainly happens in other asset classes. I think crypto is too small and has moved too easily for it to be anything like that. But I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. That's definitely true.
Yeah. You never know. happen. But
this is something, Roy, I'm curious about that I've been asking a couple people. Are there any sectors that you really liked, say, last time you were on 5 months ago, or towards the earlier end of the year that you do not like now, or vice versa?
Ooh, no, that is a good question. So, ICOs, man. I really loved ICOs. I was playing hella ICOs back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean like 6 months ago.
Shout out mainframe.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to mainframe. I'm actually still holding every single mainframe token that I bought.
I
from
still
ICO.
have a bunch too.
Yeah, I've never sold my mainframe, and it's paying me in dividends because I don't actually trade for USD. Thinking maybe I should change that, but I don't actually trade for USD. I trade for Ethereum and Bitcoin, depending on whatever I used to buy money. So, for better or for worse. Yeah, but yeah, I was playing a lot of ICOs. Thinking I was a wolf of Wall Street, and then the bear market hit. And I'm not really into so many ICOs anymore. They're still going on. I mean, the people said that this bear market would wipe out all of the ICOs and whatnot. Nah, not even close, buddy. I mean, the amount of ICOs that I see on a daily basis are like people like that I'm exposed to, I should say, at least 2 or 3, man. Every single day, it's like, hey, here's this new ICO, new ICO, new ICO, and I'm skipping all of them, every single one. Like, I don't care how good your project is fundamentally. We are in a bear market.
Yeah.
If your project releases right now, so one of the best ICOs that we had in terms of like fundamentals recently was a project called Phantom.
Okay.
I think they did their sale 4 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that. Really good project. I didn't buy into it, but they released their tokens, and their tokens completely dumped day one.
Jeez, yeah.
So I think there's something like 50% below ICO price or something like that.
That's tough.
So it's like it doesn't really matter how good your project is. Yeah, I mean the bear market will override all of your fundamentals, your technicals, whatever the hell it is that you think gives value. Like if a buyer is not there, then you're not going to make your money. So that's a really good question. I'm definitely not in ICOs right now. I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines in general with crypto. I have my positions. I've had my positions since about maybe May or so, and I've kind of sat on them. Chainlink being one of them. Which awesome coin, by the way. Shout out to Sergey. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting. I'm not really. I don't think ICOs are a good play at all right now.
Yeah. What about the quality of them that you've been seeing now? Because honestly, I haven't lurked on the ICO market in probably over a month. So, but
yeah,
the quality of them.
The quality is not bad, but what's really changes your impression of things is the quality doesn't really change, but when everything starts dumping 90%, all of a sudden the quality starts to matter a little bit more. Than perhaps what you had initially thought of a project. So same fundamentals, but the price and the bear market give you a different opinion. So the fundamentals are good for some of these. As usual, most ICOs are crap, like 95% of them. Just like most altcoins are crap, but there's some good ones. But even the good ones, it's very difficult to justify a buy during the bear market. Because the thing is like, why would I buy an ICO when I could just buy me some $200 Ethereum? Because they're also competing with that. You're also competing with $6,000 Bitcoin.
Right.
You're competing with all these other alts that already exist on the market that are supremely undervalued, right? So there's really no, even from a trading perspective and like an EV perspective, there's really not much reason to buy an ICO despite the good fundamentals, because other projects that already have good fundamentals exist on the market. And also they've been coding for months and months and some even years. So that they can deliver and execute. So those guys have a huge advantage over the current crop of ICOs.
Yeah, I see very little that like catches my eye lately. And I mean, I don't follow the ICO space that closely, less closely now than I had, just because I find so much dog shit. But I don't know. It's hard sifting through all the crap.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, it's not even worth your time right now, to be honest. There will be some projects where it's like, oh, if they did their sale during the bear market and it went to 100x, and like those will happen, sure. But it's honestly not really worth the time or effort at that to try to find those single projects when you can get like a 10x just holding Ethereum or something.
Well, and
I
even
will say,
these proof of work coins, that we've been seeing. I think we've been seeing proof of work coins getting more love lately on the alt market. Bittrex adding more, and it's like there's money to be had just on those plays alone right now. It's like proof of work is back in style.
Oh yeah,
I think some of the better plays
miners went up 10x.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the better plays in the next bull are going to be coins that are smaller cap, but clear quote unquote competitors to bigger cap coins. So I think let's take Ethereum, for example. Yes, Ethereum is very low price too. It's extremely low price to us. It's about 5 times less than the all-time high, maybe 6 times less. So we see that and we're like, okay, great, that's 6 times. But a new person is going to come in and they're going to say, okay, well, what's the next Ethereum? Because I think I already missed the boat on Ethereum. And then they're going to look at things like EOS, like Cardano, like Neo, like Tezos. And I mean, those things are going to get a lot of attention, I think, just because they get grouped in that category of Ethereum competitor. Whether all of them deserve that is another question, but they're in that category. So I think a lot of money is going to flow into those for people who think they missed the big Ethereum run. So I think those are going to be some of the better plays coming up.
You want to know something else that I think too is, very low IQ, high level overview is one thing that I'm always going to be watching is the cheapest coin on Coinbase. Well, because really, I mean, think about it. The new investor to the space is going to pull up, get a Coinbase, especially if they're from the US, get a Coinbase account going. And then they're going to pull up and they're going to think, okay, here are my options. I have Bitcoin at 6,400. I have Ethereum at 200, whatever the case may be, going down the list, and then they see 0x and they're like, okay, this thing's sub $1. Let's just buy a shit ton of it. Yeah. So that's personally one thing that I'm gonna try and maybe watch when things start looking pretty juicy is what's the lowest one on
buddy,
Coinbase.
I'm way ahead of you. I got the lowest sat coin on Binance.
Ooh,
shit.
Oh yeah.
I think playing those low sats, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, it doesn't matter what exchange. There's always going to be a play to be had with those, just based on human psychology.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that was me. Like, I remember I bought like so much Sia coin at like 25 cents, which in hindsight was like really cheap. Like basically the all-time low. I think the all-time low was like 28 or something. So it was around that range. And I was like, oh man, Sia coin is going to make me rich. It's so cheap.
Yeah. Well, and that is like the first thought, right? If you're brand new to, and the funny thing about crypto is a lot of people who get into crypto are like brand new to markets in general. Totally. It's an interesting thing, right? Like crypto has gotten a lot of people into markets. People haven't come from stocks into crypto. It's been like, oh, we'll go from crypto to stocks or something. But
there's a lot of stocks in the crypto too, though. Because those people are naturally inclined to look at assets and investments and things like that.
But to me, it was surprising. Like the amount of people I've talked to, and it's like, well, do you come from other markets? And it's like, no, I've never even touched anything before. Like I'm just
like, no, man, I just come from World of Warcraft. Like,
a big thing for crypto is it's like, oh, it was just easier to get in. I didn't have to send all this account info in to get a broker's account set up and, blah, 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 stuff like that. And you see young guys too. And so I think just that, kind of the immaturity to markets, and you just look at something and you're like, it's like, I remember when I first got into stocks, like just finishing grade 12, and it was like, okay, I got to go to the cheapest stocks and I'm going to find the penny stocks, and those are going to be what's going to make me rich just because they're cheap, right?
I still do that.
Yeah.
No, that's what, Prince, that's what Howard Lanzone said that time he was on, he said, even if crypto goes to zero, at least we're getting our new wave of traders. He's like, it has you guys at least getting interested in this stuff, and not, I think he said, and not living in your mom's basement or something like that.
Crypto has really done that. Yeah. It's introduced, the whole trading world to a lot of people who probably otherwise wouldn't have gotten into it. So
introduced it to me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So, well, Roy, I think that's everything we have covered tonight. Is there anything that you would like to say before we sign off?
No, not really. I just hope people don't think I'm like a super Nazi. I actually like fun fact. I actually have like the strong opinion that I know maybe like not many people would agree with me, but I actually think sexual harassment is bad. I know this is like groundbreaking, like really edgy, like, oh, this guy's really fucking edgy motherfucker, right? But no, Sexual harassment is bad, guys.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It's horrible.
And I think people who do it are assholes, right? Like, come on, that's just like the obvious, like, common sense position, you know.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people who, like, yesterday were saying, "Oh, you're like justifying sexual harassment." I'm like, dude, how am I justifying sexual harassment by saying sexual harassment is bad and should change? Like, what?
No, that's why getting into this shit on Twitter is sometimes just a waste of time, because people just put words in your mouth, and it's like,
Yeah.
like there was no way this even at all meant that, but thank you for trying to make me look like a dick now.
Dude, yeah, like my one friend made a post. He was like, yeah, all he's saying is, you know, instead of having this weird ideal in your head, maybe look at reality and try to seek to change that. Yeah. And the girl was like, "Oh, shut up, whore," is basically what you just said. And it's like, no, what I just said is what I typed. That's what I meant. What you said is some crazy shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why getting into it on the internet, it's just a waste of time.
Never good.
You know,
The interweb is a dark place.
Honestly, it's like whenever I start, like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna get into something that's really got the people going, and I'm like, I'm gonna tweet something, and I'm gonna get into this, and then I'm like, I'm about to hit send, and I'm like, no, because this is gonna piss people off for no reason at all. They're gonna be calling me. Yeah.
You know what? I'm like really conflicted on that, and this is the last thing I will say. I think if too many people, because I do that too, like I get in it and I'm like, nah, I probably don't. So I usually pass on most of those like engagements. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But I think if too many people do that, and just let whatever insanity of the day is happening, just you know, be free. It's like, you know, those who do know, you know, there's doing good, there's doing evil, and then there's doing nothing, which is also, you know, doing evil essentially. So like we can't like self-censor, you know, because that's what it becomes at one point, where if we just all shut up and we be quiet because we don't want to deal with the shit, because it is shit, you know, then we're all self-censoring and no one can hear like, you know, a sensible opinion.
Yeah, it's a damn good point. Yeah,
there's that saying, like, at the point where you feel least like speaking up is when you should do it the most. And I think there is some truth to that, you know, because if everybody, because we've all felt that, you know, where we type something out and we're like, I really believe in this, but it's not going to be perceived well.
I know I'm gonna be, there's gonna be a bunch of people running after me with pitchforks.
Yeah.
So moral of the wrap up is just fucking be nice.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, just be nice, respect everybody. Remember, hootskis are for the boys. Do your thing. Treat everybody with respect. Pass the hootskis. Let's party. Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening.
See you guys.
Peace out, guys. Later. Thanks, Roy.